We don't have the big names that we've usually had, on our Tennessee team this year, but we have a lot of guys that can play some big time football. A lot of unproven talent. A lot of high school, superstars that are, supposed to contribute, and it's a vibe going around that complex right now. That this may be our year. Last year we bounced back from that 5-6 season to go 9-4, but that Outback Bowl was real tough, and it has left a sour taste in our mouths. So we're ready to get that out of our mouths come September 1st when we go to California.
How much did your ankle injury take out of you last
It took a lot out of me. It was the scrimmage right before the California game, and I never was 100% because I could never let it rest. I was playing the whole season with it. I probably was about, I say about 80% the whole year last year, and then finally I had to shut it down the Vanderbilt game, and just went ahead and got scoped and whatever. And now I feel 110% and I'm ready to play.
How different is that feeling to go back on the field and be 100% again?
I haven't felt it yet, but I can't wait till camp starts. This may be the first time, that I can't wait till camp starts, till 2 days start. But I'm just ready to get out there and be healthy and run around like I used to in high school, and and play with my fellow teammates.
You're from Hampton. Do you know Vic a little bit?
Yeah, Vic is a local superstar. It's a lot of players that come from out there. Allen Iverson, Vic, Alonzo Mourning, all those guys. But yeah.
What's the chatter back there with the guys and all that?
Guys aren't really talking about it that much. He hasn't been, convicted or anything. He's been indicted. That's a pretty bad thing. But if he's done it, it's a bad thing. We don't condone dog fighting or anything like that. And it's just a sad thing.
By you saying this doesn't mean you're in any way implicating him. But simply, had you heard through the neighborhood and stuff, had you heard before this all broke that maybe at some point you heard somebody mention Vic's got something going on?
No, I've never heard it. And the house that that they found all this stuff at, it was out way in the suburbs. It wasn't in Hampton or Newport News. It was like way in Fairfax or something like that. That's a long way. So I would have never heard anything about that anyway.
What about the trip to California? Coach Hoover downstairs talked about, I'm sure they're going to be waiting on us. Y'all pumped them pretty good in Knoxville. Is that the mindset of a player when you go back out there, guys, they're going to be, waiting for me?
It definitely is. I know those guys have been preparing all year for us, in the weight room. They probably have a tee up somewhere in their weight room right now. But, I know those guys, when they came into Knoxville last year, they weren't used to the atmosphere that you get when you play in the SEC. The 105,000 fans and, screaming fans, first play of the game, their starting tight end gets hurt on the kickoff. And I know those guys are going to be ready for us this year. I'm not sure how many fans their stadium holds, but I'm sure it's not 105,000. So, I'm sure we'll be ready and used to the noise.
I'm sure you keep a good eye on the other teams, the other squads, and what they have. I think the buzz around this media days this year is that the SEC East is as wide open with talent from top to bottom, better top to bottom than it's ever been.
Mm-hmm.
You throw in Kentucky, Bowl,
And Vanderbilt.
Wow. Two starters back. Is that something you guys talk about and realize that, hey, it's on?
We talk about that all the time. Like you said, top to bottom, this may be the toughest division in college football. And when you have guys like, Kentucky and Vanderbilt coming, bringing their A game, and you have to bring your A game each and every Saturday to win these games, or any team in this conference can beat you.
Other than McFadden, I think he's the given at number one.
Yeah.
Who's the next best back in the SEC that you play against?
Ali Broussard was a great back, and I'm surprised that he quit football. I just heard that a couple of days ago that he quit football, but he was a great back. He was like 250 pounds and could really move. But last year Kenneth Darby from Alabama was a great back. He struggled a little bit, but LSU has a great back in Keelan Williams as well. So it's a lot of great backs in the SEC. They like to run the ball. So.
Schematically, what's the toughest team in your experience in Tennessee to prepare for on your side of the ball? Who's the toughest offense to be ready to play? Is Spurrier and Carolina, are they tough? Or?
Yeah, anytime you play against Coach Spurrier, he's a great coach and he can scheme you. He knew our coverages, he knew what we were in, and he called some great plays. But I think Arkansas and when they lined Darren McFadden up at quarterback, what do you call it, the Wildcat formation or something like that, that's a real tough formation to stop because Felix Jones, he doesn't get a lot of credit. I mean, he doesn't get as much credit as Darren McFadden, but he's a great running back as well. And then you have Marcus Monk on the outside. Those guys are real dangerous players, and any one of them can take it to the house anytime.
After the bowl game, Coach Jay was talking about it would be a very demanding spring. Tennessee needed to get back to playing defense the way that Tennessee usually plays defense. What was the spring like? And is that something you guys are talking about going into this year?
Yeah, the spring was like no other. We ran the ball, and we tried to stop the run. So, that was one of the things, that was real disappointing about this season. Anytime you lose a first-round defensive tackle like Justin Harrell, it's going to be hard to replace him. He went down in the third game of the season, and teams started running the ball right up the middle on us, and it was real disappointing, going into that Outback Bowl and those guys being able to do the same thing. So in the spring, that was our main priority, was to stop the run and to be able to run the ball.
Anybody else?
You fill the hole in the SEC that Patrick Willis left as linebacker?
You said, can I fill the hole? Look, I hope I can. Like I said last year, I wasn't healthy at all, all of last year. But, there are a lot of great linebackers in this league. You have Jonathan Goff, Wesley Woodyard, guys like that. Any one of those guys can fill the hole. But hopefully I can, lead this defense to be, back at the top and win a lot of games this year.